Champions League campaign started off with a bang. A 2-0 win against Lazio put us in a decent position in the group stage, and a decent run of results in the Premier League put us back up into the final European spot, just 5 points away from league leaders Spurs. And it's even more good news to start the episode, as Joe Gomez is almost ready to return from injury, and almost ready to return to my starting 11. But we have to do without him in our very first game of the episode against Arsenal, and in spite of Onuachu getting sent off, Renato Sanchez missing a penalty both in the first half, somehow we still managed to claw our way to a draw, and we finished 1-1 at the Emirates. And for the man who's now up to 85 rated, who's been holding my attack together for the last 3 seasons, only 3 goals in all competitions in 12 appearances so far this season, are the wheels starting to come off on Onuachu's performances. And with our new star signing Dani Olmo also suspended for our very next Champions League game, we head back to St Mary's, looking to get revenge on Porto in the Champions League, and looking to put ourselves in a commanding position in the group stage. Quinton Timber, he's got Ridvan Yilmaz on the left hand side with absolutely no one up ahead of him, and Ridvan Yilmaz has got options in the box. Can he find the right one? Dinks it across for Skov. It's a good piece of defensive header away, but it's Guendouzi who picks it up on the volley, and then just blasts it over the bar. Big juiced. Carl Walker-Peters on the right hand side. You can see we've got a heavily rotated team, bearing in mind that we've got a lot of fatigue creeping into the team. But Onuachu, the man who was suspended earlier on, looking to make amends. It falls to Callum Hudson-Odoi though, and he does make no mistake whatsoever. Powers a shot into the empty net, and we lead 1-0 here at St Mary's. Carl Walker-Peters into Renato Sanchez. We have definitely taken control of this game in the opening 10-15 minutes, as Callum Hudson-Odoi is available on the left-hand side, takes it down beautifully, dinks the ball in, looking for Renato Sanchez. It's another good header away. Can Guendouzi win it? No, he can't. Over-on, one-on-one with Ridvan Yilmaz. Does a really good job of getting past him. It's Delafeu in the box, unopposed, and it just goes wide from Galeno. That is a massive opportunity, and he knows it. Guendouzi. Carl Walker-Peters looking ahead, finds Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez, lovely ball into Skov. Skov going to look to go back to Renato Sanchez. He's going to strike with his right. Beautiful piece of build-up play. Even better save. Skov with the resulting corner. Puts a good ball in. Looking for the header, St. Just. Couldn't quite get there. They get it away, but only as far as Salazu. Callum Hudson-Odoi to pick it up. I'm going to try and run all the way to the corner flag here to try and get some space. Twists it back onto his right. Flings a ball in. Renato Sanchez with the flick on. Good save again from the goalkeeper. Gabriel Veron. Porto now have suddenly woken up and trying to find a goal here, and they just lash it over the bar. Another big opportunity that goes begging. Ridvan Yilmaz finds Quinton Timber in the centre. Timber looks for Renato Sanchez. Good ball. Sanchez out to Skov. Lovely play. Skov across the box. Onuachu makes it 2-0. Well, I questioned his performances just before the start of this game, but he does what he does best, and he gets in front of all the Porto defenders, and he lashes an easy shot into the back of the net, but he needs to be in the right place at the right time, which he was, and he gives us a 2-0 lead that Adrian DG is delighted with. Muriel over the top into Galeno. That's a beautiful ball. Can Carl Walker-Peters get there ahead of him? No, he can't. He continues his run. Porto desperately need a goal here, but instead it goes out for a corner. And it's going to be that man, Galeno, who will take the corner. There's no short option, so he's going to throw it into the box. Does a really good job. Headed away from Salazu. And what a save for Bazunu. His biggest of the game so far. Another corner here. Less than 10 minutes remaining, and Porto have suddenly woken up. They realise they need to get a goal. It's into the box. It's headed away by Skov. Where on earth am I defence? Gabriel Veron gets there first, but Skov trying to get it away. Just crowded out again. Veron strikes. Bazunu with a big save. It's an open goal. And this time they make no mistake, and they claw their way back into the game with just 5 minutes remaining. The goalkeeper has it. He's just got to clear it. Doesn't do a very good job, but the referee blows the whistle instead. The Southampton fans go wild. They know how important that victory was, as do the players, who celebrate. Another big win for Southampton. Full time, 2-1. Well, what a way for Onuachu to silence his critics. He bags the winner against Porto, and it lifts us up to top of the group stage and puts us in a commanding position to get through to the knockout rounds. But perhaps the return of Joe Gomez to the starting 11 in our very next Premier League game was too soon, as we lose 2-0 to Watford at home, and it's our first game in a long time that we haven't even scored a goal. We make amends though straight away, courtesy of 2 goals from Chufer and Kalmadine Sulemana to give us a 2-1 win away from home and get us back in the win column. The only negative is though that as one player in Joe Gomez comes back into the team, another one in Tino Livramento falls back out. Hyperextended knee injury, and that means he's out for 4 weeks. However, looking at his status, it did make me realise that he only actually has 8 months left on his contract, which then made me think about all the other potential players in the team that have their contracts up at the end of the season. And as you can see, we have 5 players in the squad, all who only have 8 months left on their contract, 4 of those being key players players in our team. So with that in mind, I've decided to extend the contracts of all of those players, starting with Liverpool. He's on a 4-year contract extension. Bella Kocha will also renew for another 4 years as well. It's a fresh 2-year contract for our captain and Southampton legend James Ward-Prowse. There's no way I can let Onuachu leave for free at the end of the year, so again, like James Ward-Prowse, he extends for another 2 years as well. And finally, youngster Sekou Mara, a man who hasn't really featured for us too much so far in this career mode, but one I do have high potential and high hopes for, and one who I can potentially see replacing Onuachu in the near future. He will sign an extension for another 2 years as well. So with the admin done, it's on to our 5th Champions League game of the campaign, and with one more win, we will secure our place in the knockout stages. And fortunately enough, in spite of an Onuachu penalty in the 8th minute, we managed to get the win. Kyle Walker-Peters and Kalmadine Sulemana securing the 3 points and securing our continued journey for Champions League glory. And with a massive run of fixtures now to see us through to the start of the January transfer window, we beat Norwich 3-2 courtesy of goals from Jeremy Doku, Armando Broja and Guendouzi. We batter Wolves 3-0 with Kalmadine Sulemana getting on the score sheet twice and Jeremy Doku with a goal sandwiched in between. 2 Broja goals are not enough as we concede 2 in a draw against Nottingham Forest. A 1-0 win against Feyenoord though is a nice way to round off our Champions League group stage and secure our position at the top of the table heading into the knockout rounds. And it's more good news as our winning run continues courtesy of Broja, Gomez and Kyle Walker-Peters goals to give us a 3-2 win against West Ham. In other surprising news, my backup striker Sekou Mara manages to secure a 6-month loan deal for the remainder of the season to Real Madrid of all teams. And in even better news, Livramento returns from injury, and it means in 3 days' time we will finally have a fully fit squad to choose from once again. And there can be no doubt momentum is building this episode as another Broja goal, followed up by one by Skov Olsen in the second half, gives us a 2-0 win against Newcastle. Unfortunately though, a late goal from Luis Diaz is enough to share the points at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but a 3-1 battering at home to Liverpool means we go crashing out of the Carabao Cup. A Broja sending off in the first half means we can only secure a point at home to Aston Villa, but a goal from Renato Sanchez and Callum Hudson-Odoi against his former club is enough to secure a 2-1 win against Chelsea and finish off that crazy December run with 3 points. And not only does that incredible run secure Adrian DG with his first manager of the month, 7 games, 4 wins, 3 draws, 0 losses, but it also means that Southampton claw their way up to 3rd place in the Premier League table, back into a Champions League spot, but still remain 5 points behind Spurs in 1st. But it's now time to finish off what has been a very hectic episode with our final played game of the episode as we host Fulham at St Mary's. Project for Fulham into Adley. Adley twisting, turning, wriggling away from the challenge of Bella Kocha. Does a really good job out to Otavio on the left hand side. Back into Lojek, back into Adley who strikes, and it was fortunately enough straight against the legs of Bazunu, and we really get away with one there. Raya again on the right hand side, goes back to Solbakken. Lovely ball into Ilic in the centre, beautiful play from Fulham, and Bazunu is on hand to tip it over the bar with a flying save. Corner here for Fulham, looks like they're going to go long into the box. They do go long into the box, it's headed away by Renato Sanchez, not very far. Jeremy Doku gets his head on it, but only out as far as Otavio. Fulham have got it back again, skip into Lojek. Now it's Solbakken again, shielding the ball. Really good job from Guendouzi. Gets it into Ilic. And Ilic easily just fires that into Bazunu, makes it easy for him. And again, we get away with one. Ridvan Yilmaz into Dani Olmo, who's been pretty quiet so far in this episode, but he's done well to win the ball back. High up the field here, driving down the left-hand side. Can he find a ball at the back post? He can! And Jeremy Doku climbs above the defender to give us a 1-0 lead. Well, you've got to say, it's not a particularly deserved goal. It's our first attack of the game, but look at that for a ball from Dani Olmo. And Jeremy Doku, one of the smallest men on the pitch, manages to just use that strength and power of his just to climb above the defender, gets in there and heads the ball past the goalkeeper. Adrian DG celebrates wildly. He knows how important that goal is. 1-0 into Lojek. Fulham looking to respond pretty quickly here, and Adley has it, and Fulham blaze it over the bar. He knows that was a massive opportunity. Kalmadine Sulemana into Broja. Nice touch into Dani Olmo. Can he release Ridvan Yilmaz? He can. Can Ridvan Yilmaz release Sulemana? We've just lost a little bit of momentum, but it's whipped back in, looking for the header. Doku looking for pretty much a carbon copy of the first goal, but it wasn't meant to be. Ilic now in a nice pocket of space in the centre of the park. Finds Skip. Skip challenged well though by Ridvan Yilmaz, and now we can try and counter-attack here. And that is a beautiful ball into Kalmadine Sulemana. He's got the pace to get away from the defender. Can he find a ball into Armando Broja? I was hoping Broja would check back. He didn't. but at least we now have a corner. Going to be Jeremy Doku who's going to try and throw this one into the box. It's a good corner, looking for the header. Bella Kotchup, and it's off the line by the defender. That is a massive piece of defending that keeps Fulham in the game. Fulham, though, are not relenting, and they've got a free kick in a really dangerous position here that they're going to whip into the box. It's a good ball in, headed away by Bella Kotchup. Good defending, and Jeremy Doku just about manages to get there ahead of the defender. And the referee blows for half-time. But Kotchup finds himself in the Fulham half, and he gives it to Guendouzi. He finds Dani Olmo. Can Dani Olmo find a ball out wide? No, he can't, but Kamaldeen Sulemana will pick up the pieces and then gets absolutely clattered by Solbakken, and Fulham go again. It's Adley now in acres of space. Finds Solbakken again on the right-hand side. He's got green grass to drive into, but he's blocked off by Ridvan Yilmaz. That is good defending. And now we can try and break with Kamaldeen Sulemana. We cannot get rid of the ball. Fulham pressing us so high here. End-to-end stuff here at St Mary's. It's headed down. It's away. Jeremy Doku now has it. Can I try and release Kamaldeen Sulemana on the left-hand side? Yes, I can. Lovely touch. Plays it into the box. Can he strike? No, he can't. Fulham get it clear. Salazu. Oh, that's horrendous. A horrendous ball. Giving it straight to Adley. And he strikes from distance. And to be honest, that is a massive let-off there. Renato Sanchez finds the substitute Lavia. Beautiful ball into Callum Hudson-Odoi. Brozier tried to find the on-rushing run of Truffert. It was good build-up play, but it just wasn't enough. And Fulham now can get the ball clear. It's Wilson down the right-hand side. Into Adley again, the danger man. Lovely ball into Logic. He's got a run of Wilson on the right-hand side. Cuts back in. The challenge is blocked off by Truffert. Good defending, but Fulham still managed to keep hold of the ball. But Lavia comes on. The central defensive midfielder doing exactly what I brought him on to do. And now he releases Brozier, who releases Callum Hudson-Odoi, who drives into the box. Callum Hudson-Odoi gets away from the defender, and he smashes the ball into the back of the net in stoppage time. He celebrates wildly in front of the cameras. He knows how important that goal is. Well, it was a beautiful counter-attack, and Callum Hudson-Odoi on as a substitute just has the pace and the power to drive away from tired legs at the back for Fulham. He celebrates in front of the fans, and somehow, some way, we find ourselves 2-0 up after being completely dominated. Otavio for Fulham trying to skip past the challenge of Livramento, desperately trying to at least get a consolation goal, and it looks like one of my defenders, I think it was Salazu, has given away a penalty. And we have to count our lucky stars that Callum Hudson-Odoi got that goal earlier as Logic puts the ball in the back of the net. Fulham get a goal back into this game, but with it being stoppage time, surely it's just a consolation. And it does turn out to be that way. My players celebrate. A relief more than anything. A brilliant goal in the end from Callum Hudson-Odoi, but that man Jeremy Doku was also sensational as well. Somehow at full time it finishes Southampton 2, Fulham 1. And as Callum Hudson-Odoi did manage to bag a last minute winner against Fulham, it means we keep our third place in the Premier League but manage to bring the gap to the top down to just 3 points. And after topping our Champions League group stage, somehow we've been drawn against Real Madrid of all teams in the round of 16. How on earth does that happen? But it is definitely one you do not want to miss next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.